say, oh, this is for Honey. So the deli gets on the phone and goes, Honey's in the meat department. So they had to run around trying to get Honey out of the meat department.
They were a little nicer about it.
Yes, they were a
They
little
didn't make a
nicer.
mess.
No, she was just sitting in front of the meat case.
Like,
She
yeah.
was. She probably went straight there.
That's where you would go if you were a dog, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are my visualizations.
Okay, well, we have been doing a lot of connections throughout, but I have 3 more. One of the connections that I made was when Dixie ran away in the thunderstorm. And India Opal and her father are out looking for Winn Dixie because my dog did not grow up here, but she used to come for every Christmas, and she got out of my grandparents' house on Christmas Eve and decided that she was going to take a nice little jaunt around the neighborhood. And my grandparents live next to a pretty busy road. Well, in my mom's mind, the dog was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom and my dad run out, and my sister had to stay at the house with my brother. And I went out on foot and was just calling her, and luckily she came back. And my grandfather got her in the house, but it was the most scary time because she thought, it's Christmas Eve, and we just lost a part of our family.
Yeah, that's awful.
But she did come back. Needless to say, my mother didn't speak to her for a good 24 hours.
She's like, we are in a fight.
But she did make it back safely, just like when Dixie was found safely under the bed.
Yep, exactly.
My other connection was to Winn Dixie with the I read How to Talk to Your Dog by Jean Craig George. And Winn Dixie, has several personality quirks about him. But the one that I made the most connection with was the nose-to-nose from Opal giving Winn Dixie a kiss on the nose when she's laying in bed. And in How to Talk to Your Dog, they say you get up to their nose and you go nose to nose with the dog to give them a kiss so that they know you love them. So I just thought that was really sweet.
I got that from the library, actually. I was so excited to read it.
So it's actually really cool. I was dog sitting and watched some of how the tail wags and stuff like that with the dog that I was watching. I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Awesome.
And then my last connection has to do with the litmus lozenge, and how it reminds me of an everlasting Godstopper because of the different flavors. The only difference is that there's sadness put into the litmus lozenge, and depending on what you associate the everlasting Godstopper with, the sadness is not there. So I thought that was a kind of neat connection.
Yeah, that was a neat part, wasn't it?
I had to read that twice. I had to go back and I was like, it seemed kind of a little out of place, but then once I thought about it, I could kind of weave it in with the rest of the book. I really like all that historical element too. That was really cool.
It was neat to see how, because all you knew about her was that she had a lot of money.
Yeah.
So how did she get how did she get that money?
Weird candy.
So she got money from candy, which they don't make anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to eat that candy.
No,
would you
guys?
guys? Sounds kind of nasty.
Yeah, look, I'm like, how long has it been sitting?
Yeah, it's old. It makes you sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But just a little sad.
It just makes you think.
Good point.
Sad.
Like melancholy or
yeah. And I thought it was really interesting how it made you be more connected with each of the characters as they ate the candy. Because they talked a little bit about what it made them think of.
Yeah, that's true. Because I thought about them what if someone who wasn't traumatized, or everybody's lonely at some point. But,
sure.
What if just somebody who at that time was happy, they're getting married the next day, whatever, ate the candy.
Oh, that would be awful.
Would they taste? But would it taste sad? I mean, would they taste the sadness?
Well, you're never 100% happy.
Yeah, maybe that would just bring out the one part that you're feeling.
Oh snap! Thinking about
Yeah, that's true.
Did anybody find it odd she brought it to a party, which is supposed to be happy? Now I know the connection of getting to know everybody through it. That was okay. Maybe that's why she brought it, but. It was sort of... Now
we're sad together, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But I was
I'm bring the happy candy.
Yeah, do we have a happy candy we can share out?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was strange
The
too.
party had the weirdest menu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like I don't want to go to that. I mean, you would want to meet those characters, but like
Not
eat
to
before
eat
you go.
Yeah.
Was it egg salad, pickles, and what
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
And some sort of
Yum.
punch.
Oh, done punch.
Yeah.
Yum.
Right.
Sorry, I think I'm gonna pass on
Yeah, it's like I'll eat after.
that. Or before.
We should have like brought in all that for our list.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, it
It would have
back in the
smelled
morning.
so bad. Okay, salad.
Well, that was one connection I had was the whole little girl, old woman connection,
Sure.
which I always love that connection
Mhm.
because there's such a difference in age and experience, but somehow, it works. And I kind of had someone like that when I was growing up. My dad was a superintendent of a juvenile delinquent facility, and so there was like a gatekeeper. And she was probably only like, 65, but to me she was like 108, And that's where I waited for the bus. So she would let me wait with her in her little guard shack. And we just formed this bond, because I felt like I could talk to her about things that, you don't talk about with your friends your age or even your parents. And she was so unconditional. And I think I reminded her probably of her own kids. And when we moved, I just remember she bought me like this amethyst ring that, I wore for years. And,
Oh, that's cool.
so I had a definite connection to that, that friendship, that although not typical, it can
Well, that's
be
so
beneficial.
important for
Yeah.
young people to develop a relationship with
Right, yeah.
people that are older and more experienced than them.
Well, it's kind of beneficial both ways.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I liked that about Opal, that she had so many different kinds of friends.
She was so
She didn't have
open.
any girlfriends her own age. She had, old lady friends, dog friends,
She had
felon friends.
yeah,
like,
little kid friend too.
yeah.
and she never spoke down to Sweetie.
Yeah.
Or Sweetie Pie. She just
Mhm.
always took her at what she
Mhm.
said. Face
Yeah.
value. Sure, I'll come to your party.
Yeah, the theme is pink.
Yeah, so funny. It's like, okay.
Oh, she had all the pictures of dogs at the party. That was so cute.
Yeah.
I liked her character.
I did too.
So we have a couple more minutes. Do we want to talk about how we would use this book in our classrooms?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
What reading level is this on? Do we know? I think it's around the 4th grade.
It's
is
age
that-
9.
yeah, they read it in my 4th grade classroom, and I love this author. I wish she had been writing when we were children, because I've loved everything I've read by her so
Yeah.
far. She's amazing.
She is.
She has a lot of books. I've read Tiger Rising. That's good.
Yeah, they're reading that in my 4th grade observation classroom right now.
That's
Oh,
good.
the end of it, I don't like the end of it.
Yeah.
All the kids
true.
were like, what? But I think this would be good just as a read aloud,
It is.
just to hear the language and talk about the characters.
We used to take long car trips, and my mom actually read this to us in the car.
Oh.
So, and it was great because you get the visualization of the dog and the little girl, and there is a happy ending, unlike what you said earlier.
Unlike the Tiger Rising.
Yeah. And well, and I mean, even
Or
Despero, her Tales of Despero has a happy ending.
Mhm.
It was a little
Oh my
like
gosh.
startling. You're like, oh no, oh no. It
Yeah.
has a happy ending.
Yeah. There's a lot of drama in these books that are meant to be read to children. I mean, I was a little bit like, whoa, there's a lot of,
But they're written in a way that you can teach
It's
them.
accessible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not to the point where you're like, well, I don't really want to read it because it discusses issues.
Yeah.
This puts issues in a nice, not
Context.
sugar-coated way,
Mhm.
but in a nice way that's realistic for children.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, and I know my daughter was in 4th grade last year, and they did a literature circle with this book. So it is something that, like we kind of did today, a group of kids could use this book in like a book club or literacy circle.
I
type
love that idea.
situation. Yeah.
I just have this image of like these little circles all sitting on the floor and like drawing
Yeah.
pictures.
I sat in on a few of them, and they were like, "Don't talk," because it's student
Yeah.
student led.
Mm-hmm.
And I was helping a girl in it, but I just was basically helping her with the reading part of it.
Right.
But you as a teacher, you're not supposed to interject at all.
Because you want to
It's
hear
their-
their real authentic
It's their
thoughts.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it's not just the book, it's the participation in the discussion. It's learning how to participate in a discussion where you listen to other people and you value their opinion. And even things like, there was one little boy in this group that was like,